Well, they've just made buying EVs about as appealing as a kick in the gonads. Let's begin. Well, boys and girls, it's time to roll out the red carpet because we're witnessing the grand premiere of the Great Car Insurance Comedy Show. And the headline act, of course, is that car insurance costs have hit a record high, and apparently some electric vehicle drivers are forking out up to 3 times more than their fossil fuel loving counterparts. Yes, that's right, driving a green machine means you'll be paying an eco-tax in the form of insurance premiums. And to illustrate this absurdity, let's talk Tesla for a minute. The annual cost to insure a Tesla Model Y is apparently around a jaw-dropping £1,421. I mean, what's next? Do they throw in an autonomous driving unicorn as part of their coverage or something? Meanwhile, of course, the equivalent petrol choice of Vauxhall Mocha looks like a downright bargain at just £449. Both, of course, depending on your driver, obviously. And that's a price difference so extreme that even a stand-up comedian would say that's too far-fetched for a joke. Admittedly, of course, they're not exactly the same type of car, but hopefully you get my point. But it gets better than that because prices soared like a rocket over the past year thanks to the high cost of covering electric vehicles and added spice to everyone's favourite party guest, inflation. The average cost of car insurance has surged by 58% in just 12 months. It's like they're playing some sort of twisted game of how high can we go with our wallets. And guess what? The average driver is now parting with a cool £924 for insurance. In which case, of course, you might need to take a loan to insure your car these days. It's breaking records faster than a DJ on a Saturday night. So apart from inflation, why are car insurance costs going through the roof? Well, of course, we had the pandemic and, of course, recent industry changes. To thank for this comedy of error. But inflation is the real star of the show, isn't it? With vehicle repairs costing an eye-watering 33% more, all thanks to rising costs and, of course, energy inflation as well. It's like your car went on a gourmet repair diet and wants you to pay for the expensive taste. But just hold on to your seatbelts because there's more, unfortunately. The rise of electric vehicles has also played its own part. They're like the Hollywood divas of the automotive world, aren't they? With their fancy machinery and pricey repair bills. And just what do the insurance companies do? Well, of course, they spread the higher cost of repairs across the board to all motorists. And if anything, that kind of means it's like charging everyone extra for the organic kale salad just because one person ordered it. Let's not forget about the loyalty premium ban, shall we? In 2022, the Financial Conduct Authority put its foot down and said insurers can't charge existing customers more to renew their policies. Which admittedly sounds like a good thing, but what did insurance do? Well, they hiked up the prices instead of their core products to make up for it. Which kind of means everyone will be paying more. And of course, added to that, we've finally got drivers returning to normal driving habits after the pandemic. Which of course means that more drivers on the road means more claims, and you know what that means, don't you? Insurers apparently open their wallets even wider, or try to get out of it in some cases it seems. But anyway, the article says there are still ways that you can pay for your car insurance annually, which apparently will make you save around 10% rather than spreading the cost out monthly. It's also a good idea to be accurate with your mileage, because whilst of course you may like the thought of putting 10 or 12,000 miles, knowing that you'll be covered either way if you go slightly under that, you'll actually be paying more for it than if you were to put your real driving habit of either 8 to 10,000 miles. And of course, last but not least, you can use a price comparison website like Compare the Market, or Go Compare, or whatever else. Well, hold on to your hats because we've got some top-notch, mind-boggling logic coming our way. So apparently judges have been instructed not to lock up convicted rapists and burglars because, wait for it, prisons are apparently full. Yes, that's right, full. I mean, who would have thought that prisons were meant for, well, prisoners? It's almost as if we're stumbled into a parallel universe, isn't it? Where the best solution, of course, to overcrowded prisons is to let criminals run free, right? It's like saying, sorry, Mr. Burglar, we'd love to accommodate you in our cosy cell, but we're just all booked up. How about we just put you on a waiting list and hope you don't rob any more houses? In the meantime, that is. And to be honest, I can't help but wonder if they actually tried rearranging the cells a bit more, they could create a bit more space and maybe put a bunk bed or two in there or something like that. Or maybe, just maybe, going by their sort of logic, I guess they could create some sort of prison-themed reality show and let the viewers vote on who gets to stay and who goes home. I mean, the possibilities are just endless, aren't they? But the thing is, they're also planning an early release scheme for those inmates who are nearing the end of their sentences. Because I'm guessing they think that the best thing to do when our prisons get to bursting point is to release some of the inmates back into the wild. It's almost like a reverse graduation ceremony, isn't it? Congratulations! You have served the most time, now you get to go out and make better life choices. And then of course there's Lord Eddis, the senior presiding judge, who's decided to strongly encourage other judges to delay sentencing. I mean, picture this. Judges receiving encouraging messages like, "Dear judges, please hold off from sentencing those pesky rapists for now. We're a bit tight on space, you see." It's like a game of let's make a deal with serious legal consequences, isn't it? But the biggest concern is surely that people charged with rape and other sexual crimes might fall into this category of delayed sentencing. I mean, of course, heaven forbid, we inconvenience rapists by making them wait a bit before they receive their slap on the wrist. And if that wasn't enough, the government's brilliant plan to fix this overcrowding issue was actually to build more prison spaces. However, either meant that this wasn't done quickly enough. I can only imagine the government officials calling up construction companies saying, "Hello, can you build a few more cells quickly? We're running out of space for our friendly neighbourhood burglars." And the construction companies probably replying, "Sorry, no, we're a bit tied up building luxury condos right now for the illegal boat people arriving from overseas." So of course at the moment the only solution to overcrowded prisons is to release non-high risk prisoners, and just for kicks we're considering turning magistrate courts into holding cells. It's like a twisted game of musical chairs, isn't it? Except the music has stopped and now everyone is trying to find a seat in a courtroom. But anyway, the article says that there were 88,016 inmates in jails in England and Wales on October the 6th, the Home Office said. The operational capacity is 88,667, but the prison population could hit 106,300 by March 2027, experts predict. The Ministry of Justice said that rapid deployment cells and doubling up cells will help and ease the unprecedented problem, adding that 20,000 new cells are being built. Well, isn't this just a heartwarming tale of generosity in the world of energy bills? British Gas customers, if you've been struggling to pay your energy bills that are more expensive, let's face it, than a rare diamond necklace nowadays, fear not, you might just qualify for a grant up to 1,500. It's like hitting the lottery, isn't it? But instead of cash, you can get the sweet relief of not selling your kidney to pay your energy bills. But of course, according to the energy provider, they've already distributed 21,000 grants since 2021. More than a third of the fortunate people receiving grants on disability benefits, another third are single parents, and yet another third have kids under the age of 5. And Chris O'Shea, the chief executive of British Gas parent company, swoops in as a knight in shining armour. He says, "Thankfully, energy prices have started to come down." Wow, Chris, you're right. I bet unicorns are real as well. Because let's face it, they haven't exactly come down that much at all, have they? But he also adds that the cost of living crisis is still squeezing the life out of our wallets. But fear not, because they've committed to a whopping £100 million to support their customers. It's like throwing a penny in a wishing well and hoping your financial woes magically disappear. But of course there is a catch, isn't there? Because to apply for this magical grant, you must meet a list of requirements that is longer than my... Anyway, you need to be a British Gas customer living in England, Scotland and Wales. You shouldn't have received a British Gas Energy Trust grant in the last 12 months. So no double dipping, people, and you must have electric and gas debt ranging from £250 to £1,500 because, why help those with small debts when you can go big or go home, eh? But here's the thing, you must also be facing fuel poverty. And if you meet all these criteria, then you're in for a treat. It's kind of like a complicated obstacle course, isn't it? And if you navigate it successfully, then you could win a cash prize that covers your energy bills. But just remember, if you've been struggling to keep the lights on, British Gas is there to offer you the chance to win back your dignity one grant at a time. It does make me wonder though if something like this will only encourage people not to pay their energy bills to therefore get themselves into debt in the hope that they could get one of these grants, and not paying your debts is not a very good thing at all, is it? So it could end up doing more harm than good. Especially if people don't get a grant and then the bailiffs get involved, which is the last thing people need, isn't it? But anyway, the article says that fuel poverty in England is measured using the low income, low energy efficiency indicator. And under this indicator, a household is considered to be in fuel poverty if the following two conditions apply. They are living in a property with a fuel poverty energy rating of band D or below. And when they spend the required amount to heat their home, they are left with a residual income below the official poverty line. And if the criteria are met, customers may be eligible for a trust grant, which can be applied for on the website. And throughout the winter, people can also visit the local British Gas post office pop-ups, and advisors will apparently be on site to provide an in-depth overview of the support available, signpost people to organisations for ongoing support, and check for benefits and entitlement, and provide free energy saving tips and advice. And yet another thing that's annoyed EV drivers is in this video, where, to be honest, if it's not changed, then it will no doubt pee us all off, where we're basically forced into making the switch ourselves.